I mean, you were living the life, man.
It was
You
crazy.
were on the best show on television. You know, you were shooting fucking crazy hours. How many months would it take to shoot a season?
So
6?
sometimes it was 6, but towards the end it was more. It was like 9, I think. It started.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it started becoming more and more. Maybe like 8, but then we did. I think I have such a bad memory, but for this, I think we started doing like less episodes as the show went on. But they just became. I don't know. I remember it taking so long at the end. It was so, and I remember like sometimes they would come to us and say, "Hey, listen, you know, you're not in the next episode. You know, you got fucking 2 weeks off." And I remember people like Edie, if she had very little work or wasn't in an episode, would be upset. Like they would tell me I had 2 weeks off. I would be trying to hold in from fucking, you know, fist pumping and fucking, you know, being all excited because I was like, oh shit, I can go party. I could just go fucking hang out with my friends for 2 weeks. And I know I got this fucking the greatest show in the fucking. I have the greatest show to come back to, and then I'd be like, all right, you know, I'll see you guys on. Call me when you need me. And then I would just go and fucking hang out with my friends, and I'd get the call like, all right, the script for episode 4 is out. You're in it, and I would just fucking go but like it never felt like work. Working with James and Edie and Jamie, and they were so fucking good, and like you sit and you watch Edie Falco do a scene. And then you're like, I'm getting paid to be here. Like, it's the craziest. And the way that I grew up, like, I grew up really poor. And basically, I kind of had the thing where it was like, if you do everything right, you'll get your grandfather's job. If you do everything right, if you don't fuck up, if you do good in school, you could take his job, which he was like the super of a building. And then you'll fucking, you know, in our neighborhood, he had the fucking great job. He had it easy, you know. He would fucking go into work at like 6 a.m. or whatever, fix shit in the building, and then at noon, he would go to the bar to have like a sandwich and a beer, and then he just wouldn't go back to work. He would just end up, you know, drink it. Whatever. Hey, if you need me, you know, I'll be down at the bar. He'd be a block away. But things were fucking cooler back then. You know, this is like the late 80s, early 90s, where shit was just, you know, people weren't watching every movie you made because you didn't have a cell phone. They couldn't get to you. So they'd be like, oh, where's Bobby? And they'd be like, oh, he's, you know, we don't know. We'll tell him tomorrow. And then he would but he showed up every day, 6 a.m., fix it because he only worked a block away, you know. And then he was the super of our building too. So we got to live in our building rent free. So there were a bunch of us living in a 1 bedroom, and there was no door on the bedroom. So it was just like a bedroom with the door open, the kitchen and the living room. And we were just all fucking in there. So it's like to then jump to, like you said, now you're on the fucking best show every day. Like this show could have stopped at season 3 and I would have been the fucking success story of, you know, like it still would have been like, oh my God, you know, he did the greatest thing. The fact that I went on 7 seasons and people argue it's the best show ever and all this shit. It's crazy to think of how it all turned out.
When you were shooting this, while you were shooting these, what did you think of David?
I love David. I always love David because, I mean, I looked at him as he's the reason I'm here. You know what I mean? Like, he's the guy who gave me this thing. You know, like I was fat and yet I could still get girls because it was like, oh shit, he's on a fucking TV. You know, like I loved David. I loved the way he was. I always thought he was a fucking, you know, 13-year-old me, what do I know? But I always thought he was just some fucking genius, and he was the best. He was funny. He was always super nice to me. I remember one time where like I was 18 years old and we were shooting a scene, and it was me, James, Edie, and probably Jamie. I don't remember if Jamie was there, but we were in the kitchen doing whatever. And I just remember like turning my head and seeing David walk onto set, and he went to go watch like on the monitor or whatever. And I remember like feeling nervous. And that was the first time I was like, oh shit, yeah, that's the boss, you know, like that. Cause I never, when we went to go do the pilot, there was no giant celebrity. There was nobody who was saying, oh my God, can you believe blah, blah, blah's here? Can we get pictures with it? We were all sitting in the same we'd all sit outside laughing, bullshitting. There was nobody was from California. So nobody was, you know, you would hear things about people being like, I want the biggest trailer. Or there was none of that. We wouldn't even, sometimes we've had trailers on set and we wouldn't even go over there. We'd be sitting in the basement of the house that we were shooting and just fucking laughing, making fun of each other, making fun of people, doing whatever. You know, it was always just us sitting around having the best time.
When did you stop going off the reservation? Like you booked it when you were 12.
Booked it when I was 12.
When you were like, when did you start partying? Like, when did you get the green light?
So when I was like 11 or 12, I think I was 12, I first smoked weed. And
Welcome to New York City.
Yeah, I know.
Welcome to New York fucking city.
You know what I talk about all the time, which what makes kids from New York City different than anywhere else? It's like, let's say fucking Tom lives upstate and he tells his parents, I'm going to Ricky's house. When he goes to Ricky's house, you know who he's going to see. He's going to see Ricky, he's going to see Ricky's mom, Ricky's dad, and that's it. He's going to see 3 people. When I used to tell my mom, hey, I'm going to Rex's house, I could see 400 people on my way from here to just going a few blocks to my friend's place, you know? So you have to learn. You have to be always looking at like, what the fuck is this person up to? What are they? Where like, I remember when I was like 16-ish, I was doing stupid shit and got in a little trouble and got moved into my dad's out of the city for a little bit. And I remember talking to 16-year-olds upstate and being like, where are you? What do you mean your mom's going to drive us to the mall? Like, I can't even... that sounds like fucking... I'd rather sit downstairs and fucking stare at the wall than sit in the car with your mom while she drives us to the fucking mall. You know, because it was like, by the time I was 12, it was like we'd be hanging out in fucking staircases and smoking weed and drinking. And then... So it was around 12, 13, 14. I was drinking, smoking weed and that kind of stuff. But it was still just fun, you know? It was like, hey, let's go meet over here and this. And then probably like 15, 16 became like... oh, you know, somebody would, because we didn't have money to do other shit, you know? And then around 15, 16, it would be like, oh, somebody said they could get us fucking ecstasy, you know? So we would save up and try and get it. But then I was probably able to, I just had a little more money and everything. But around 17, end of 16, 17, I started going out to clubs in New York and really partying and just getting whatever the fuck I wanted for free. Like people would just come up to me with a fucking handshake or... But it's also around the time where I got arrested and I was in the paper for fucking weed and this. So people knew, you know, so people would come up to me and just handshake with a fucking bag of weed. And then around 17, it became blow and I started doing blow. And then from 18 to 22, I was doing blow every fucking time I drank, every time. And then I would, so I would binge drink. I would drink for 3 days, just doing blow, staying up, fucking partying, everything. And then I would chill for 3 or 4 days, just smoke weed, take fucking painkillers, just kind of like stay in.